And I'm back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Watch Your Mouth Reviews. Hey, Jim Bunny. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen as usual, but that's all right. No worries. Joining me as always, my special guest, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to it.
Good evening, kind people.
Yes, I am back. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I have new subscribers. Thank you for joining the Watch Your Mouth Reviews train. Unfortunately, I had to lay my dad to rest this weekend, which is why I have not been on my channel. I have a lot to make up as far as my book readings and everything like that. I promise everyone I will get caught up. But thank you guys for all your support, well wishes. I do appreciate them. Thank you guys so much. So, without further ado, now that I got the damage control out of the way, let's talk about Real Housewives of Dubai Season 2, Episode 5. Thank you, Jim Bunny. I do appreciate that very much. Y'all, this episode was all over the place. I don't know what Bravo, whatever. Let's get into it. We start off with Caroline Stonsbury. She is in her home that is still incomplete, but she decided, hey, I'm just gonna live through my renovations. It's satisfied enough where I can live into it. So she decides to live in it with her Sergio and her kids and everything. She invites Chanel Ayan over and gives her a tour, and we're looking at all the imperfections and the perfections. She has this very beautiful tree that she has two men that come a day that gives it water and vitamins, as she says. And I'm just like, oof, okay. I mean, I've never known you can't just go and water your own tree and give it the vitamins it needs. You have to hire somebody to do that. Okay, Caroline Stonsbury. So as they're showing, Chanel Ayano, they're showing her the nursery, and Chanel Ayano knows herself says, well, where are y'all with the baby making process? So she goes, let's get out of this room. She goes, because how are you gonna have a baby? Y'all on the third floor, this baby on the second floor. And she goes, this baby gonna get raised the way my other babies are raised with the nanny. And Sergio's like, no, 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 we don't need the nanny. We just need the baby to be upstairs with us. It's fine, Caroline. It's fine. And she goes, oh bloody hell. And I'm just like I'm with her on this one because Sergio is a lot this episode, y'all. So they sit down for lunch, and Shania Yan brings up a conversation that her and Yasmin had at the kick out party where, she just said that, hey, my mother was never really there. I don't know why she wants to have a baby. Luckily, I have my brothers, but I don't think she needs to add to that because she says that the nanny raised her. And Caroline Stansbury, so that is absolutely not true. I had over 85 employees that I was in charge of. I had no time to be at home, and she had it easy compared to my upbringing because I had no time with my mother. At least she can say she had me. And I'm just looking at Caroline Stansbury like, lady, first off, I don't believe you. That's the first thing. Two, I believe it's exactly what Yasmin said because you have a similar story. You were in boarding school, if I remember correctly. So I do believe that there is concern that she's just going to give this baby off to the nannies as she would have any other circumstance. So, how did you feel about that scene, Mrs. Best?
I appreciated the realness. I do like Stansbury for the fact that even though she has old money, as she says in the little tagline, she still, to some extent, is down to earth. I guess sleeping on the floor. Some of that is realistic. People could get the
Hmm.
place, but that don't mean it's gonna come, fully together. So I respected that part. The other part of it, I was just like, okay, Ayan's here. Yay. I don't understand the tree. I think that was the thing that bothered me the most. It's a beautiful tree, and it definitely fit the house, especially being in the center of everything. But this is a big ass tree. That seems like something they could have like maybe planted together and watched grow throughout their relationship or something. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying somebody to ship a tree up and over into my house. That was
And then
strange.
paying two guys to give it water and vitamins.
Vitamins.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. The scene. I just really don't like anything where I have to hear about Sergio, see Sergio. But I don't think that room will ever be a nursery. That is my final thought.
Hmm. Well, I'll give my opinion when we get to that scene of them going to the or whatever, not oncologist, not wrong profession, y'all, obstetrician. There we go. So The next thing we have is Talene and her husband. They're taking their daughters out to the park. They're going to feed some animals. And once again, this conversation of her having this boy comes up. And he goes, we need an heir. We need, someone to carry the name. And I'm just like, well, y'all have two daughters. They can't be heirs and just carry the name.
Especially which we learned from Sarah. I guess Emiratis don't take last names. So it's like if you're in that
Yeah,
country, your daughters can take your last name anyway. But
right. They still carry they don't carry the husband. Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's why I was like, okay, maybe he just I don't know. Maybe they're not Muslim. I don't know. I don't know these people. I don't really care. But that's what I'm saying. Like it really made it seem like you need a boy to dominate when your daughters can have the kids and hyphenate the name so the name still stays there. Like y'all are just doing too much. And Talene really, I could tell she really ain't trying to have no other child. So, you know, it was funny hearing that conversation because he is very adamant. Like I think if he could get pregnant, he would. It just it was just crazy to
I
hear
don't
this
like when
conversation.
dudes do that though, because I'd be looking at them like you already have two kids that are here. We haven't heard once come out of his mouth. Well, even if we can't have another kid or I don't get a boy, the kids I have now are a blessing. Are you that focused on giving birth to someone with a man part? Like I
Right.
don't
And
like
then
the dismissal of the other kids.
yeah,
It
I
just
didn't like that either. And then I also didn't like when she said in the conversation that he wasn't a very present father, which most men aren't. Like you, unfortunately, we live in a society where we're not requiring men to be present parents. So when me and Michael get married and we have our children, he's definitely going to be a present parent. We already had that conversation. So yes, that's definitely going to happen. Talene's husband is not a present parent. So why would you want another child when you're not even taking up time with the two little girls you have?
because he doesn't understand the true work of being a parent. It's not,
Hmm.
and I know single parents, men and women like to separate it. Oh, we have it the hardest and all of that. Yeah, it's hard. It is, but I think all parents to some extent also have to do a lot of work. And if you're not the most helpful, you're not going to be able to understand or empathize with something that you've never seen or gotten to be a part of fully. He's always traveling. I'm sure he
Right.
can go
And
back and still have money.
yes, and then the thing that gets me about this as well is that how's that going to look to your daughters when you do have this boy that you're giving all this attention to this son that you have versus the daughters you already have on earth? That's another thing that I also don't like when men do is that when they finally get that boy, all of that attention goes to that boy and you neglect the daughters that you do have. Like that just to me, I've seen that as well, and that's terrible. Like, so I'm hoping that's not the case. Good luck to them on that. But she also brings up a conversation that Caroline Brooks had called her. Hi, Shayna. Thank you for joining us, love. She also brings up the conversation Brooks called with about the dinner Aisha and Ayan hosted when they brought when she pulled Sarah and Sperry to the side. And she said when she got it from the table, there was a little bit of phone tag where she said that Caroline Stansbury told Lisa Milan that she didn't know why Talene asked her to get it from the table. And when Lisa Milan called Brooks with the information, she immediately called Talene. And Talene was like, well, why are you telling me this? Like, it just seems like you're trying to stir the pot. And the conversation goes away. So she has to meet up with her a little bit later to see what happened and what's going on and why would you say that. And to me, I just said, Talene, this is what you get for messing with Brooks in the first place and coming on this show. This is what you get because this lady's been messy. I'm sure somewhere in this 10-year friendship, you done had an encounter or two with Brooks. You can't convince me that this whole 10 years was just sunshines and rainbow. I won't believe you. Mrs. Best, what do you have to say about that?
I'm annoyed with it. I really don't fully buy any of it, but I don't know. I said from the beginning, I don't think they ever had that deep of a friendship. Um, so I don't fully buy any of it. But what I saw just from how everything got around, Lisa and Brooks are the messy ones because they are
Mm-hmm.
both the people who received information and then immediately went to spread it. That's what Celine was explaining to her husband, basically. And I'm like, I wish she would like take a moment and like actually try to process the things that she's saying herself, because yeah, I'm just over Brooks at this point though.
Um, Shayna, in all seriousness, I'm gonna be real with you. I just need the content. I'm gonna put it to you that way. I just need the content. I don't. This show, to me, if I had another show that could go in its place, it would have been. But I'm
Yeah.
5 episodes in, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And surprisingly enough, this actually gets pretty decent views depending on my subscribers and everything, and I appreciate them. So I'm gonna continue to do it. But no, this is definitely not a good season at all. It's starting off very slow. So we move on there. We had a little nothing scene with Lisa Milan and her Nina Rose business. She had on some draws and she got on. It was just, as I said, it was enough. She's building her business. Big up to Lisa Milan for starting that kind of business because that is hard. But, that was pretty much it. There was nothing. The next scene we covering is this scene with Saba. She's setting up It's Ramadan at this point, so she's setting up the break the fast dinner or whichever they celebrate. I'm sorry, y'all. I do not much educated on Ramadan. Sorry, but and y'all know I don't like Saba anyway, so I wasn't paying that close attention. But Caroline Brooks and also who else was there? Caroline Brooks and I know it wasn't Talene. Who else went with them? Oh, Chanel Ayan. Sorry, y'all. That slipped my mind because I was about to go into the scene with Brooks and Talene later. But Chanel Ayan comes and hmm? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought I heard a voice. Sorry. So Sarah finally reveals a king. Handsome guy. Um I don't see the chemistry. I see someone trying to get on TV personally. And I think Brooks, this showed how she needs to get some because she was just thrusting herself over this man. And I'm just like, okay, ma'am, somebody need to throw some water on you because you're doing too much. And I'm going to say the same thing for Chanel Ayan, too. But he goes there. We've had the scene with her son. They've already, he's met her son. They had a little babysitting adventure where they were playing basketball. The son was like, when are you going to be my new dad or stepdad? And Sarah's like, it's too soon. But it was all like, well, why'd you have him meet your child then and have him for a day if this wasn't the test? Sarah be on, Sarah be on bullshit sometimes. I can't get with Sarah. I can't. Like, as much as I want to, I can't get with Sarah. Watch him with the good eye. Yeah, because he definitely was giving I want to be on TV vibes. I'm sorry. It could be me, and I don't really care either way. But it could be me. Mrs. Best, what did you think of this scene and the ladies meeting him?
He's okay looking. I feel like they were just more fixated on his body than anything. He's not a bad looking guy, but they was literally salivating at the mouth over that man. I didn't see why this person that you're not exclusively dating needs to meet your kids, your son. Yes, Zita, that's exactly
I
what
was
I
just
was
about to say
about to
that
get
next.
to,
Yes.
because to me, it's too soon for everything. And I don't want to hear the shit from any mom. You don't have kids, you don't get it. You don't need children to understand how to be responsible or to protect the child from weird adults. You should have common sense to know whether you do or don't have kids, to not leave your children alone with any person, man, woman, or anything in between. You should not just be leaving your kids alone with somebody that you're kind of sort of getting to know that you don't thoroughly know. That's just my personal opinion. I also don't feel it's appropriate for her to be discussing her dating life to this extremity with her child. He doesn't need to be a part of every bit of the process of you finding a man. You don't need to present him with the I want to date so you have a father figure. That to me, especially as someone working in mental health, that can actually be extremely damaging to this child's essential schema, which is how you view things in life. So I just don't trust any of it. And then separate from that, my final comment is the ladies was mad, just like corny and immature with the one of them want to question the guy, the other one wants to probably jump the guy's bone. Like the whole scene for me was just a waste. It was very strange, but I want her to stop doing what she's doing with her son because I'm not
I
saying
do
she's a bad
too,
mom, but it's not.
because to me, psychologically, as much you guys know how I am about human sexuality, I think it's scientific. I think psychologically, she's training her son to date men as well by having him so involved in that. Because he's going to get to a point to where that's going to be a routine and natural. And this is how you train men to date men. This is what Sarah is doing. And I hate I have to say that, but her involving her son, letting him know. And then the fact of the matter is, you don't pick good men anyway, considering your first husband and your second one. So why do you make it apparent to even involve him in this when it's not even serious? This is what we're talking about, Sarah. This is why I can't get with Sarah. This is why I can't do it. The fact that that little boy is already trying to scout men too is crazy to me.
I mean, but
It's
Sarah's
crazy.
full of it. She also stated later in the episode some BS. Spiritual healing is immediate, but therapy takes time. Honey, all healing takes time. You don't just magically become spiritually healed overnight because you read a verse in the Bible or did whatever you had to do with whoever you did it, or you little white man from Thailand that came. Like, I just be annoyed with Sarah as a whole. He called her,
Mhm.
he called that man Carol.
He did, and I saw that too, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 Sarah!" That's when he would have got popped in the mouth. We're not gonna do that.
She's also impacting, like, she's blurring the lines. In fact, they're more than blurred. We can't see this blackout curtains over the line of being a friend and a parent with your child. She's just messing up in so many ways. But I'm not getting into that. I'm not at work no more. But Sarah get on my nerves.
Like I said, that scene that was terrible, y'all. I was looking at that, I was all like, "Not this boy scouting, and not him asking questions, and not you involving him in every moment." Like she's just inappropriate with her kid, and I just feel like somebody in her circle needs to say something, and it can't be Saba. I don't want Saba to say anything else. Because to be Saba look like she encourages this shit. And I'm just saying
Birds
that.
of a feather.
Right, I'm just saying. So we move on to the next scene where they then talk about Talene and Lisa Milan's fight. Sarah takes it among herself to ask Chanel Young, is everything okay with Lisa? Because she seemed off that night. Is everything okay at home? Like, and Chanel Young was caught off guard, like, why would you be asking me? Why didn't you ask her? Well, she goes, "When I know, it just felt like something was off." And she was like, "Nothing is off. She's had, her mom just left town. She's, want her mom to live here." She kind of just gave them a little crumpet of tea, not a whole bunch. That was enough. I felt like she did a really good job of trying to die it down. Like, okay, that she's going through a lot, and y'all should just be like, give her grace. And as I said in my last recap, I don't fully blame Lisa Milan for that fight because Talene did start it. So I'm sorry. We're not going to mince words here. And y'all not trying to pigeonhole us black. I see what y'all are doing. It's very obvious what y'all are doing. Brooks calls it on herself. But with Lisa Milan, so far, y'all, I don't think she hasn't done anything to me that warrants y'all to be calling her out like this. So that's how I'm going to put it. Mrs. Besser, anything you want to add before we move on?
Um, Not particularly at
Okay.
all. I'm just tired of them still talking about the fight, but I do think that Chanel handled it appropriately because they were obviously trying to get to a space like, oh, Chanel's being cool this year. Let's see if we could get her to talk about Lisa. And she turned it right around. If you're so concerned and you got her phone number, then hit her up. Just saying.
My point
So she
exactly.
politely called everybody out on it. I don't know. These women,
I
it's
don't
just
like Saba
wrong for the
either.
show.
And based on the little snippet that I saw next week, she gonna get read next episode. So for those people who do like her, this may not be the channel for you if you like Saba. I don't like Saba. So next week she will get read based on the 10-minute clip I saw of next week's episode. Moving on, y'all. Sergio Caroline Stonsbury go to the obstetrician. Yeah, the doctor that take care of your ladies' insides. Yes, whatever that doctor is called. So They had this conversation where the man pretty much tells Caroline Stansberry, "Look, after 50, there's not going to be a chance. I would like you to have this baby rather sooner than later." Sergio just foaming at the mouth and just a smile. He goes, "Yeah, yeah, this is the baby, right?" Looking at the sonogram or whatever that's called. The two ladies. It's not an ultrasound, but or is it an ultrasound? It might be. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is the baby. This is the head. I can see the head." And she's like, "No, that is an ovary. That is not. That is the embryo. That is not." I'm just like, did we not go to school?
How would the whatever he thought, how would it have a head without the sperm? Now,
Yeah,
I'm not going over sex ed, y'all, but I think we know that there's certain things that come out of a man and little swimmers and stuff, and we can't have children. There's not Sergio. Please stop putting
this
him
right
on.
here.
My thing is like, is there not everybody on this cast is from a different country for the most part. I don't understand how you missed that part of schooling. Even if you missed that part of schooling, I don't understand how you missed Google, WebMD, Bing, DuckDuckGo. How do you think that what you're seeing was a head? I want him off of the show. I really feel like Caroline is just with him for this show, but it's a little out of hand. There's no way he's that stupid.
Honestly, I would agree with you, friend, but I really think he is. I really
Damn.
think he is. I think he is. I think that this 50-year-old lady is finna pop out a baby. That lady is not having no baby. She got one embryo and one egg left, and she's 50. That ain't happening, y'all. That's not like to me. I feel like she's missed her. One, she already has kids, and I feel like this should have been a conversation to where if you really like, I'm gonna get on Caroline Stansberry for a little bit. If you really knew that you did not want kids and your biological clock is clicking, and you got this 27-year-old man married to, you guys didn't think before the marriage that y'all wouldn't have a conversation. Hey, look, this is a one-stop shop. I'm only here for the marriage. I'm not fit to have no kids. I already got 3 of them at home. I don't need no more. Sorry. If you need somebody, go get you somebody else. Y'all didn't think to have this conversation. Like, and a lot of couples do this. And I don't understand why. When you guys are talking about the serious commitments to each other, which we're talking about marriage, at some point there has to be a lot of conversations you need to have. One, particularly children. Are we going to have them or are we not, or are we unsure? And we need to make sure we're clear that if we're unsure, okay, well, let's make sure we take probabilities. Why don't you volunteer to be a big brother? Or when I have a little cousin that have a baby, why don't we babysit to see if this is really something you can do on a day-to-day basis? Like, I don't understand how these conversations are not being had. This is ridiculous. Because she clearly did not have this conversation before they got married.
It's for TV. I'm telling y'all, I said it in the last few recaps. I feel like, especially with the convenience of her wedding and when it happened and then the fact that it was aired, I really don't feel like she has or had any intention of staying with this man as her end all be all. I think she just got with him because it does give her a storyline. Because if you take Sergio out of the equation of this show as a whole and Caroline's little storyline, no shade to her. She's just not that interesting. She's not going to really argue and go back and forth with words with any of the women. She doesn't do stuff that's messy. And her kids, they seem fine. Like there's not much that she could really give on this show without Sergio. He's the thing that makes her interesting. So I don't think she cares. I think she's going to wait it out and either test how much he love her or leave.
This Buddy, this is definitely given she's taking care of him. This is not, he does not look like he has a job.
He follows her around all day. They confirmed that. So I think it's pretty clear he doesn't work. She also stated that she had to put everything in her name because you have to be in the country a certain number of years and all these things. But if his family, they say he allegedly came for money too, you would think he would have that figured out, especially if he was out in the country before they was married.
No shade. When I look at them mama and them sisters and brothers, I do not see money. I see middle class Spain, and they have enough to get by. I don't see money when it comes to that family. I don't. I don't. Sorry. Like, yeah. It just doesn't look like that aesthetic to me. So this scene was so stupid. They asked her, "Do you see yourself having a baby in a year?" And she couldn't even answer the question. She couldn't answer the question at all. So it was like,
No shade to her. I know she loves her kids, but it sounded like she wasn't fully interested in being that mom that's like super hands on anyway. I have
right.
87 employees. Fuck them employees. My kids would come first. If I got to delegate, if you're blessed to have 87 employees that you can afford to pay, then I'm sure that you're blessed to be able to afford to pay someone to manage those employees so that you have time to dedicate to being a parent.
Right. Like there's no way if I had that many employees that I would be managing all of them. When I tell y'all I would be hiring a manager, maybe even two of them, so that way they can make sure everybody gets paid and do what the hell they're supposed to do. I'm gonna be at home. You really think because that to me, having 87 employees means you got real money. That's a lot of people to pay in a year. So yes, I'm going to hire somebody else to pay all those people, make sure they get the job done, and make sure my company runs. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So yeah,
I just
this
feel
was a
like if you
bull.
want to be there, you'll be there. Look at Lisa Milan, juggling being a wife, three different kids. They're all in hella extracurricular. She's got her company, she's doing this show, and she's dealing with her family. And she is still making it happen. So yeah, I don't think Caroline needs to have kids, and she probably won't have no more.
No, I don't think. As I said, I don't see this baby happening. This baby's happening, then God bless the ball because I'm sure that lady is done. Moving on, y'all. We have this dinner with Brooks and Talene, and I'm not gonna go for a blow by blow because I feel like this conversation was stupid. And let me tell you why it was stupid. Talene, you already had your answer the first time you brought this conversation up. You already had your mindset when you were on the phone with her. You felt like she was stirring the pot. There's no need for you to get clarification because that's exactly what the fuck she was doing. So I don't understand why you even went to dinner with her in the first place. I wouldn't even have wasted my time. But for those of y'all who did not watch the episode, let me go over it again. So Brooks and Talene meet up for dinner. And Talene immediately gets the circumstance and situation. She said that, directly speaking, when you called me about what happened at the table with Lisa and Chanel Ayan and them calling you with, asking that Stansbury had said that she don't know why you pulled her from the table. It felt like you were stirring the pot. Brooks is going to automatically deflect, which we all knew she was going to do. She's going to say, no, that's not what happened. I called you because you specifically told me before we even joined the show that if someone's talking crap about you and behind your back, you'd want to know it. So that's exactly what I did. And I said, Brooks, you are so full of shit. And you know you full of shit. And I give it to Talene for not being that stupid to fall for it. She's asking the right questions. She is following the right dialogue. She sees you for what you are. And you were stirring that shit up because you don't want this lady to be cool with Stansbury. Because if she's cool with Stansbury, you know you have no control of the situation. And at some point, they're going to ice you out, which they're going to do anyway. Because you are making such a fool of yourself. And the fact of the matter is, you said to that girl when she says, "Okay, well, let's move forward." You said, "No, I'm good." You're fucking stupid. Because now that girl gonna take a step back, get with Stansbury, Chanel, Ayan, and all the rest of the girls, and they gonna ice you out anyway. You see how stupid you are? Instead of just sitting back, shutting the hell up, and watch shit play out, you want to sit up there and you know play on people's words, and it caught your ass in the back. Mrs. Best, is there anything you want to add to this? Because I'm gonna move on from this.
I mean, she's trying to use Talene so that she can have a moment on the show. I think that's the only comment really necessary. It's so obvious. It's sad. So I'm glad Celine didn't give in either. That's really it.
Crazy. Celine, I expect better from you, but hey, it is what it is. We still getting to know you. I still like you slightly, but don't let Brooks ruffle you up like that. That I don't care how long you've known her as a friend. You know that lady had ways about her, I'm sure. So, y'all, moving on from there. Caroline Stansberry is stressed out because she is playing an event with the ladies, and Sergio's parents are coming at the same time that she's trying to make the phone call or the text message. She's doing a voice message. So once his parents get there, everything they're showing around the house. She goes, "It looks great," and he's just smiling as if he bought the house. And once again, this was nothing. This was a nothing scene. I don't understand why we even have it here. But his family looks impressed with the house, and they're all happy and everything. And I'm looking at that mama, looking at everything. This is why I know that man don't come from money like the people say he do. Because that mama was just looking around, was just awfully impressed. If that mama came from money, she would look down and be like, "This it? This all you got?" Zeta, why you hollering? What I say? What I do? Because he did. What y'all want me to say? That man was smiling like he bought the house. Like he was just a cheese. And I'm like, see, this is what I be talking about. Y'all can't let the little boys have all this power like this.
The thing that was pathetic for me, I'm just looking like such an asshole today, y'all. I'm so sorry. But the damn parents, he, like you said, smiling like he bought the house. And the parents, I'm like, do you not see there's something wrong with this man? Whether he is, it don't matter his sexuality, gender, or whatever. This is a 27-year-old man that ain't got no job, living off a lady probably older than his mama. I and
Right,
then
because how old is his mama?
shit, I'm
I'm
looking
curious now.
because you have to think like we are the way we are because of our parents. And then parents is standing there with all their bags, looking at that damn tree, looking excited, and you just have to wonder, like, how much did you spoil this young man? Like, I want to get into the parents more so I can know what they're like. And obviously, there's something with the parents because Caroline Stansberry got the hell out of Dodge.
She sure did. She made sure she made the phone calls, got up out of there.
When you
But
leave your own house because of an in-law,
right, exactly.
like what? It took them how many months to get in there? And then the first thing she
Caroline left because Caroline didn't want to pay for shit. That's why Caroline left. Caroline left. You know how y'all do when y'all don't want to pay for shit. And y'all conveniently say, "Oh, I got to go to work. I got to. Oh, somebody called me. I got to go run and get my mama some money, or I got to do something." That's exactly what happened. Because, and as I said, I don't believe that he comes from money. Because let me tell y'all something. Europeans, especially Spaniard and British people, when you have more money than somebody, and you look at the house, you get to frown and like, and you get to picking up sculptures and looking up and down, and then you look at the decor and you looking at the lights, and you like, that's it. Like, come on. I'm like, no, that lady, that they don't come from money. Let me tell you, absolutely. Got when I'm telling you, she was gone. She called her girlfriend and said, "Girl, get them cars and let's meet up with these heifers. I ain't got time for this." So, is there anything you want to add before I move on to that scene?
no, I mean it was a mess.
It was a mess. It was just she hurt and got up out there. She did not want to be a part of that. So the ladies then meet up. They all get out their SUVs. Caroline Stansberry videos them. It says, "Hey, y'all original chauffeur, that car broke down, but I arranged for something else." And when they look across the street, they see this old Volkswagen bus s kind of shit. And see, I would have cut Stansberry ass out too, because there was no air conditioning as they was driving up this thing. See, yeah, Caroline Stansberry, you ain't shit for this. Because when I tell you I wouldn't have gotten that, I would have told my driver, excuse me, you got to drop me off at the next location. I'm not finna ride in that. But the ladies are good sports and they ride in there and it was hot and everything else. And Caroline Stansberry, she go, "Oh, yeah, I could hear them cussing me out now in that van as soon as they pulled up." But she made up for it because the girlfriend that she was with that got the real money, y'all. I'm just saying. She had at least two to $300,000 worth of cars all lined up there. So she goes, "Hey y'all, so we're gonna go into the desert, but we have these vehicles arranged for us. So pick a partner and then get in the car and we're gonna drive up there." So Talene rides with Stansberry. Brooks decided to ride with the girlfriend at Caroline Stansberry. I said, "Brooks, I see you, Brooks. You think you slick. I see you trying to rub elbows with this lady. No, damn well you don't know this lady." Sarah and Saba, of course, ride together, and then Ayan and Lisa ride together. So they're all driving in the cars and everything. And as they're in the cars, I've never seen Stansberry drive before, but it showed because she was running stop signs, went in the wrong direction. I said, "Lady, we know Sergio drives. You shouldn't even have drove that car. You should have told Talene to drive." But They're talking about Brooks and the dinner that they had and how, it was crazy. Like, and Stansbury was like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just said that I didn't know what you were going to tell me when you were picking me up from the table. That's all that I said. And so then they have like a little confessional time where even Lisa was like, yeah, when Brooks called me with that, that isn't, oh no, that wasn't the scene. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting mixed up. Sorry. That's not what happened. Lisa and Yam was in the car. They was like, I wonder why Brooks didn't ride with Talene. Like, did you see that she's riding with Stansberry? That was the messy scene. I got my scenes mixed up, y'all. Sorry. I'm trying not to look at my notes and look at y'all. Doing a good job. I know I am. But that was it. They get to the location, and once they get to the top of the hill, Chanel and Jan and Stansberry decided they were going to ride down the sled together. And of course, Chanel and Jan can't never wear no regular clothes. She has this really big ass, will somebody say it looked like a blue loofah? Because it did. It looked like she stapled a whole bunch of loofahs together and wore it. And I was like, lady, you can't wear no regular clothes. You didn't have no sweatsuits at home. You don't have, I mean, what's wrong with Chanel Ayan, y'all? Why she can't never wear
I
no
don't know.
regular clothes?
She keeps wearing these strange supposed couture things, and then she puts on like the cheapest synthetic like wig from like 2004 that you could buy. And it's a shame because she's so pretty, she doesn't need to do
She
all of that.
is. Now, is she really bald headed or was she wearing a prosthetic over her head?
Who knows?
I wonder now. Does anybody know? Anybody write this either if you're on the playback, hey, like, comment, and subscribe. Type that in if y'all know she's actually bald headed in real life. Or is that some shit she put over her head? You know how they do nowadays, where they actually can make you bald in real life and they put a piece of silicone over your head. That shit hot as hell. Don't nobody do that. If you're not bald headed, just be grateful. Because when I tell you that shit is hot, like literally, it feels like someone is lighting your head on fire. Don't ever wear those. But moving on from there, they then sit down. And when they're sitting down, the conversation then comes up about, Brooks and Talene and their dinner. And Talene wants to bring this up again. And I said, Talene, I'm not gonna tell you this no more. You have your answer. This lady do not care because you not falling in line. She stirred this shit up. They all agreed to it that they know she stirred it up. And now you sitting up here looking stupid because she doesn't care. And I'm just like, yeah, you had to know that this was going to happen. Mrs. Best called it. I thought that she wasn't going to turn on her friend. So she said, I'm not gonna lie, y'all don't watch the show. I'll be watching the reviews. We appreciate it, Zeta. Trust me. We love when you hear. We appreciate it. So I don't know nothing about her head. I just know in the confessional she was bald, and I was just wondering if she was bald naturally. Knowing Chanel Ayan, it was probably costume-ish, but I don't know. Maybe she is bald in real life. But any final thoughts, Mrs. Best? Because that was pretty much the end of the episode. Talene looked stupid at the end of the day for trusting Caroline Brooks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much what you said. She looks stupid. Learn from it, check, and move the hell on. I don't care about the Twitter beefs. I'm not surprised. And she knows how Brooks is. You claim that she's your longest friend in Dubai, so you probably done seen Brooks go through quite a few friends while knowing her, which tells you that there's something wrong with her. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I don't want to bring up Sarah and the man and the fact that there's half of them. I don't care because we already decided that situation is ridiculous. I hope he's not abusive. I hope he's not anything them last husbands were. And I hope it works for Sarah's sake. In that little boy section, she want to drag him like an accessory with him through all this shit. I'm hoping he's the one because that is damaging to do to a little boy. That's all I'm gonna say. But that was it, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm late to my next video, which is Love and Marriage Huntsville. Make sure y'all come on over because we got to talk about that as well. So, in terms, that was Real Housewives of Dubai, season 2, episode 5. I will be back next week to recap episode number 6. Thank you guys once again for being here. Also, subscribe to Mrs. Best's channel as well. Any reality TV shows that I don't cover, 9 out of 10, we cover on her channel. So we'll see you guys on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, don't be late. See you guys there. Bye bye.